Hello, I'm Tribble, and this is Zenless Zone Zero, a gacha game developed by MiHoYo. As a gacha game, it can definitely have some pay-to-win tendencies, but overall, you don't really feel them outside of the very end game and during agent banners where the events don't really reward a lot of polychrome, which is what you turn in for pulls. So you don't get a lot of pulls, and it makes it hard to get the characters. Anyways, I digress. I've thought about making some content for this game for quite a while, but I was really hesitant, as I'm mostly in the phase where I'm sitting in the end game, kind of waiting for new updates and new content to play. Uh, so if you came here for a full playthrough, I also thought of starting a new account and just going fresh. It's something I'm willing to consider if it's something people were interested in seeing. If you want to see something like that, think about tossing me a sub. Let me know down in the comments if it's something you want to see. And I'll think about doing that, maybe in a new region. Right now, I'm in Americas. Um, so for now, I think since I'm kind of in the late game, we'll just do a little introduction video. I'll go through my sort of the daily tasks you go through end game, kind of. Uh, Take a peek at the roster. I'm not a really big grinding person. I'm more of a, I guess you'd consider a casual player that doesn't mind doing the grind sometimes. Um, I'm pretty much free to play. A couple of times I have gotten the whatever it is where it pays you polychrome daily for a month, and pretty much makes it so you can end up with a pull every day. It costs I think $5 USD. So I've gotten that two or three times throughout my entire time playing the game. Other than that, I haven't really purchased anything. Um, so yeah, it's a mostly free to play perspective. And we're just going to go through the daily stuff here. Generally, start out the day at the Tin Master, getting the coffee. There are two different types. One gives you just straight up energy. The other one makes it so you get double a reward the first time you do a mission, but you get less energy. So here we get 60. Normally you would get 80. But as a compensation for that, the first combat simulation, we get double our rewards. So we'll get into that a little bit later. And since we're just still doing the Sulaban Temple stuff, I'm just hanging out up here. It's kind of a new area that's been added recently. So we'll talk to this little guy. He's making up for our video store, which is another thing we can go over if somebody wants to see the full game. So we just pick a person to promote the store here. Who do we want to pick? We'll pick Evelyn. Who you pick dictates what rewards you get at the end of it. So we'll get something fire element related, and then we'll just have it recommend the tapes instead of having to dig through them. Open up the store, and then tomorrow we'll get paid a reward, and we just do that every day for pretty much free reward. And then we come over here and essentially have our fortune told. I've gotten all of this done, so we're just pretty much doing it for free money every day. That's something else we can see if you want to see the full game, as well as this over here is the whole temple management system stuff, sending people out on adventures to get supplies. So these people have all completed all these Bang Boo, which are the little robot guys. They're little robot helpers. So we're just going to collect our reward from these different areas. And I basically just cycle through all the areas to get an even supply of all the rewards because I don't want to go through and calculate exactly what I need. So we're just going to send these guys. We're just auto-selecting to make it easy. Another thing, we can go through all of this if somebody wants to, if people want to see the whole experience of the game from beginning to late game where I'm at now. So now we've got all the stuff we return, those guys bring back from their little missions, and we use it to craft things. And there are certain things that have bonuses. I know this is a ton of information. Just ignore most of it unless you want to see the full game. I'm just kind of talking through the late game cycle so you can kind of see what it's like. So we want to craft the items that are hot right now. So we got these, which we have materials for this one. We'll just pick a guy that's good for crafting. I know this is a lot of random stuff. We'll just, mostly ignore it. we can just use it as a kind of background distraction while we talk. So it is a pretty good game. I've enjoyed the grind. I enjoy the combat style. I'm just going to speed through this stuff now, and we'll get into some things that are a bit more interesting here. So we'll get our last little guy crafting here. All right, and now that they're crafting, we go over to the next spot where we sell the things that we've crafted. So we've got different other bamboos. These are managers. They manage the sales. So we want to try and sell the items that are hot because we get a bonus for them. So the smoky little pot here, we've got tons of backstock of stuff that I've crafted for these things. So this is a perfect time to sell some of this stuff. We'll sell the things we've got most of. 33,000 of those. And let's see if we've got anything in the bags. We do. We'll sell those as well. So we've got that all done. We will ignore the rest of the stuff. So we've got daily tasks here we just collect. And weekly stuff that we do, which I've almost completed. And this will be rolling over here just in a day and a half. So we'll make another one with that all fresh when that rolls over. Just one moment, just need to hydrate here. All right, so next, since we've got a bonus for our combat simulation, let's go ahead and do that. So here's a quick peek at my roster. These are all just characters that I've gotten pretty much mostly for you to play with, the exception of the things I explained before. I am still missing quite a few characters that I'm waiting for them to come back around as a rerun so I can hopefully get them. So we've got Yadari, the newest character here. I'm just going to flip through their pictures real quick so you can see them.
계획을 없애는 일은 내가 싸우길 원해? 아니 안녕하세요. 파이톤 당신을 위해 모든 위협을 우리 서로 마음이
As you can tell, there are very few male characters, but I'm sure that's what they're going for. A couple of the two newest characters. Seed, I really like her. Her story is pretty awesome, and she's really fun to play.
전 오볼로스 명령에 따르겠습니다. 명령을 내려주시기 바랍니다. 난 승자에게만 충성해. 시험시험아.
We've just got quite a few characters to choose from, all punched into their own little kind of faction groups. So as you see here, Alexandrina here is part of the Victoria Housekeeping Company, which also includes Lycan here and Corin. And then we've got the base characters. These are the three characters you kind of start with. We've got Nicole, Envy, and Billy. And they are all here, part of the Cunning Hares. And they're pretty cool as well, but kind of starter characters. So anyways, as we were in here, I was just going to find a character that needed some upgrading, because I'm not super into grinding, so they're not all super complete, but I do have some characters, like my favorite here, who is, I've pretty much got maxed out on everything, so I even managed to get her W engine, which is awesome. I don't have the greatest luck with those. I do have pretty good luck with characters, so she's pretty beefed out. She could take pretty much anything on her own. And I've gone back out again, so let's see. What about Orphe and Magus? Have I done much for them? Not going to get bonus stuff there. Their skills are kind of alright. Seed I've got close to maxed out. We could work on maxing out Seed. Let's do that. We'll do some supplies for Seed here. Now this is a screen where you pick your enemies. Now I've got it set so they're just random. You can have the set enemies, which are just the standard. And we'll go ahead and do one with that first, just to see what it's like. And then you can also pick how many you want to fight. You can fight, down to 1 all the way up to 5. So we're going to go with 5 because I like to. And then next is where we pick our group. So I've just got the newest kind of squad here. the Spook Shack characters, I believe it's called. Yeah, Spook Shack. So we've got Yuzu, and then Minato. Here he's pretty cool, and I've got his outfit from the most recent event. And then Yadari, which she's pretty awesome as well. So we're going to use them. And then you can also pick a little Bangbu to accompany and help them. Most groups like Spook Shack have their own kind of unique Bangbu, like Miss Esme here. She has a special ability when there's at least 2 Spook Shack characters in the group. So we're going to bring her. I'm not, this obviously isn't, a power group. This is just, I like to play more for fun. So I kind of play the characters that are fun to play, even if it is a bit slower. But these are just simulations, and they're usually pretty easy. Power Minato up here and just beat some ass. Get beat up a little bit because I'm not paying attention. Here we go. Now we're going to beat some ass here with Yidari. Nope, we're going to go into a chain attack instead. I actually haven't done much grinding lately, so I gotta get back into the groove. I feel like a newbie, not being able to dodge anything. Come on. We'll probably fast forward through some of this because I'm not doing super great on the groove here. And obviously this is just a kind of a group team up, not a, it's not built for speed or power, it's just kind of fun to play. I put it together so I could learn how to play the characters. Let's see, this guy is fine with physical, but not okay with heat, yeah. What about ice? They're okay with cold. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I would say real quick, but it's going to take me a minute to get through because I don't have the best squad for it. And then we will use a squad that will actually use this stuff. Alright, here we are. This time we're going to do random. And we are going to swap over to a Miyabi group. Not necessarily the best either, but this is kind of a mix between good and fun, I suppose I would say. We've got Astra here. She's going to provide some behind-the-scenes damage and buffs. Here we go. Time to truly beat ass. Also, I want to shout out Race Guy Gaming. I've been watching his Zenless videos, and that gave me the nudge to actually kind of do this one. So definitely check out his page. I'll put a link down below in the description. So give that a look, give him a sub, and yeah, check him out. It's definitely worth watching.
끝이다. 몰라 지금. 나도 마찬가지.
And as you can see, that's a little bit quicker. But it's hard to beat Miss Miyabi. She's a beast. So yeah, that's kind of what the combats look like. That should have given us some supplies that we can use. And yeah, that's kind of the game. So if you want to see more, I'm going to go ahead and I suppose we'll pause here. I don't want it to get too long, but if you want to see more of the late game, I can do that. More of the new content as they release it. I don't crunch the numbers. I'm not a pro. There are people that do that, and you should watch them if you want to find that out. I'm just going to go at it from a kind of casual grinder perspective. So if you want to see more, let me know. Until then, take care, and I will see you next time.